Open up the door, please. It's the police. Open up the door. Or unlock it for me so I can open it. Right, when you unlock the door, just take a step back from the door, please, yeah? Show me your hands. Okay, I mean, you're under arrest. Okay, for DPA. It makes you really welcome to having in Harrow today. Yeah. One in Harrow. Okay, so you don't have to say anything, but remember, defence, do not mention when questioning something which later on in court, anything you do say may be given in evidence, okay? Yeah, we'll get you some clothes.
A masked gang launched a frenzied attack on a transgender teenager at a roller skating party in revenge for lying about the gender identity before performing an act on a boy. The 18-year-old aspiring model was lured to a roller disco where the gang screamed horrible things as they punched, kicked, and stamped on this teenager's face after they also knifed her 9 times, which was by the ringleader, Summer Betts-Ramsey. In distressing CCTV images, the hooded gang wearing masks and gloves could be seen lying in wait, dancing in excitement in the car park as the smiling, unsuspected victim approached. In the video, which the victim gave permission to be shared, the teenager is punched in the face and the head just seconds after arriving with such force that the victim is thrown to the ground, where the mob proceed to unleash blow after blow on the victim with great excitement. The victim was kicked at least 7 times by Betts-Ramsey before the 19-year-old pulled out a knife at the Harrow Leisure Centre in northwest London on February the 10th last year. While the victim lay helpless, Betts-Ramsey lunged and repeatedly knifed the victim 14 times in the nose, thigh, hand and buttocks. In the orgy of violence, which was filmed and plotted on Snapchat, all 5 teenagers piled in and they were kicking, stabbing, stamping, and the victim was lay curled up in a ball. The mob unmasked for the first time yesterday at the sentencing hearing, also senselessly beat the teenager with a pair of roller skates and boots before snatching the handbag and fleeing, leaving the victim in a pool of blood. The victim only survived the attack after a member of the public intervened to stop Betts-Ramsey and called the ambulance. Judge Philip Katz KC said the teenage mob were locked up. He said, "I have watched the CCTV footage of the attack more than once." The Met also released body cam footage of Betts-Ramsey being arrested at her home the day after the Bristol attack. So appearing at the Old Bailey, Betts-Ramsey was sentenced alongside 18-year-olds Bradley Harris, Cameron Asay, and Sheila Hindedas, and a 17-year-old boy, after all admitted causing GBH with intent. Betts-Ramsey will serve at least 4.5 years in Young Offenders Institution with an extended sentence of 4 years on licence, and she was deemed as a dangerous offender. The judge added her gloating the aftermath of the attack was shamelessly hateful and dehumanising. A woman believed to be a relative of Betts-Ramsey yelled, "People kill and get less" from the public gallery. Meanwhile, Harris, Hines and Asay have all been locked up for 3 years in Young Offenders. The 17-year-old boy was handed an 18-month youth rehabilitation order and be electronically tagged for 3 months. A 6th girl admitted robbery by taking the victim's bag and is going to be sentenced on another day. Betts-Ramsey, who lived in a children's home, also admitted to possession of an offensive weapon. The trial heard how Harris plotted the attack when the victim denied they were transgender before kissing him and performing an act on him days earlier. Unbeknown to the victim, Harris recorded the encounter on a FaceTime video call, and a friend then phoned Harris to tell him that the victim was trans, which was admitted only after Harris held the victim at knife point, saying, "Better not lie to me." The victim later apologised, but Harris was already meticulously planning the savage revenge attack. Hours before the attack, Betts-Ramsey was heard on the phone saying, "I have to go to Harrow and I'm going to go on a mad one." The judge was also asked to take into account peer pressure. The judge said, "I struggle to see any though, as he believed the attack was carried out with general excitement." He goes, "Kicking and stamping on someone when they are defenseless on the ground is abhorrent. Consistently, we hear in these courts about attacks of this nature which have led to death." So, Betts-Ramsey was believed to be obsessed with knives and would have them delivered to the children's home where she lived now. My question is, how the fuck were these items being... She's living in a children's home. Are there fucking people running the place not checking the posters that she's getting? Delivering knives. Fucking crazy. So the judge said Betts-Ramsey was recruited to lead the attack, a lifestyle at the time, and her previous convictions for violence explains all. The judge said the group were motivated by a distorted version of revenge, describing the Snapchat planning of the attack as poisonous. The prosecutor, Dina here, the KC earlier said this was a planned attack motivated, at least in part, by the teenager's identity. During the assault, the teenager was punched, kicked, stamped on and stabbed and suffered 9 stab wounds. On February the 10th, the victim was lured to a roller skating party with the group, and the group, dressed in dark clothing with masks and hoods, were waiting at the bus stop. Once they reached a nearby car park, the victim was immediately attacked. As we know, Betts-Ramsey lunged at the victim on the ground with a knife at least 14 times. Other members of the mob attacked the victim for about 45 seconds before some fled. In a movie impact statement, the victim said, "I've suffered panic attacks, I struggle to sleep and fear I might not be able to work as a model due to my injuries. I've become depressed and I'm always living in fear in the house. I'm constantly thinking about being assaulted again. I feel that it's taken over my life." So Betts-Ramsey was subject to a community order as well at the time of the stabbing after being convicted of robbing and battery, and the court held that the defendants have all apologised since the attack. Guys, absolute madness. So guys, here's another new story coming out from the streets of the UK. If you deep it, if myself and other channels went out there, you wouldn't hear half of these stories. Like, the UK is literally a war zone. Honestly, I'll only cover like what between 2 to 4 stories a day. But literally out there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases coming through every single day. Violence, battery, guns, drugs. The country's fucked, let me tell you that. Once again, big respect going out to each and every one of you that's always supported. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, follow and all that. But appreciation going out to every single one of you. It's your boy GC. Keep it locked, keep it real.